Wow, that's a pretty cool chair, Megan.
I am Dr. Evil.
Right? It even has
Check
a matching footstool. If you would be so kind to hold our microphone for one moment. It has a matching footstool.
Cool.
At Empress Carpet 1 in North Battleford, Highway 4 North. So, what are we going to talk about today, Dr. Evil?
Well, let's talk about evil things. No, let's just talk about
$1 million.
$1 million. I just need like my hairless cat right here.
Right? You know, I tried to watch Austin
Mr.
Powers.
Pickles? No, what's that cat's name?
Mr. Bigglesworth? No.
Bigglesworth?
I don't remember. But I was
been
gonna.
so long.
I tried to watch it actually, and I turned it off 10 minutes in.
Oh, really? I was just gonna say I really want to watch it again now.
The humor is not my humor anymore. It's just not
I feel
for
that.
me. Not
I
for
feel
me.
that.
Yeah. So just the.
Do you want to make some guacamole?
Do I make you horny, baby? I just am not into that anymore.
Yeah,
like
that's
that. That's probably
kind of
why I am
behavior.
the way I am now. It's because
Yeah.
of all the Austin Power movies I watched.
Yeah, let's talk about like accountability or confrontation and the lack of nowadays and what we think that's doing for us.
Yeah. Like, people just don't confront each other when there's a problem anymore. They just avoid it. Conflict avoidance is like the leading cause of friendships ending. I don't know. But like, people just avoid things. Like, they just...
They want to put their head in the sand and, oh, what? No.
Yeah. What? And then the worst part is, so these people, and I'm guilty for this. I'm not going to lie. I did this when I was younger. You know, you just avoid someone, and then when you see someone else and they say, hey, are you still hanging out with that person? And they're like, well, actually, that person did this and blah, blah, blah. It's like terrible shit talking. And the worst part is you didn't even get the other person's side of the story because you avoided the confrontation to the point where you just separated and then, yeah.
Yeah, and if you would have had a conversation about it, then it might have, you know, been resolved and it might have not blown up to what it ends up being because so-and-so runs into this person and then they, you know, shit talk and then that person goes to the next person and might say what that person was shit talking to another person that might be a mutual friend to the person that they were shit talking, and then it just goes full circle and then it never ends, and then that person starts shit talking. Well, they said this about me. Whereas like if you just said like, hey, I don't think this is cool, straight up, and I'm a very like, that's how I am, and a lot of people are like, oh no, you better not, and you know, and I bit my tongue one too many fucking times for other people. And you know what? If I just said what I wanted to say, then a lot of the issues probably would have never even happened. And then maybe that person, too, would think twice about running their fucking mouths about people.
Yeah.
You know? And then that would just nip it in the bud right there. But, you know, we're too sensitive now. And if you say anything, it's like, well, you hurt that person's feelings.
But, like, for me, and because I've been a victim, just kidding, but I've been, like, I hear things about myself from other people all the time, and it's like, man, if I know, like, I can always pretty much imagine who that was, and if that person would have just talked to me, I don't hate anybody. Yeah, there are people I disagree with, and I don't wish to spend my time with, but I don't hate them.
And you can have a logical conversation with them.
Yeah, a rational, logical, like, we can break things down.
Level-headed
yeah.
conversation about it. You don't have to, it doesn't have to turn into a fight. And it's not like, you know, we're 18 or 19 or 20 and it's, well, I'm going to kick your ass next time I see you. Like, it's not like that anymore, but we treat it like it's like that. But I was going to say,
and yeah, it's not like that, but and almost in a way it should be, because I was talking to someone the other day about how, like, man, because he was talking about how somebody did something to his business or vandalized his business, and he's like, yeah, I wish I could have just chased him down and beat the hell out of them or something. And I said, whoa, like, violence isn't the answer, right? And he just said, well, maybe if more people were getting their ass kicked, they wouldn't do all of this horrible, dumb, juvenile shit. But so it's like, it's
that's like the cycle that we're in now too. And it's like we're trying to grow and evolve and not repeat mistakes that have happened in the past. But I'm not saying everything was all bad, and there's some good there too. And it seems like ever since they took away punishment, like physical punishment, that like there's no fear, like there's no, and a fear, like a bit of fear is healthy, because it makes you, think about it a little bit more than if you were to do it. And people, I will never spank my child. I think that there are situations where a child just needs a good licking. And even if you look like, if you watch nature is a prime example. It's not like there's a difference between a spank and abuse. If you're being disrespectful and a little shit and a little slap on the ass to, oh shit, I shouldn't be doing that, goes a long ways. And like you see it like in horses, like they'll tell each other when to back off. Dogs, their litter of dogs, they will tell their litter when they don't want to play anymore.
Well, and same with our pets.
And cats.
Like, yeah, I can tell my cat no and psst 100 times and spray her with the water, but it's not until I pick her up by the scruff and give her a smack on the ass that she actually leaves my shit alone. So, like...
And two, like
and that's the thing, like there need to be consequences to bad actions. And... like so often now there really aren't, because people are scared of like hurting feelings or making waves or that person's this or this person whatever. And it's like,
and it's always, and I understand that some people's situations aren't great, but it's like, well, we can't say anything because you never know what's going on in that person's household. You never know what's going on. But the reality of it is that we create a lot of the shitty situations that we're in. And for the most part, there's usually a way to get out of those shitty situations or to fix them. We just don't want to put the work into it. So like a lot of people that have like these underlying issues that they're having are usually like self-inflicted. So, and like a part of it too is that we don't have confrontation. So like a lot of this anxiety can even come from like, well, does this person like me? Does this person not like me? Is this person saying shit behind my back? Whereas if you just had the conversation,
yeah,
you wouldn't have any of this at all.
That's why when somebody says something, I'm like, oh, oh, this is what you're like? You know what I mean? Like I just straight up will ask them most of the time. Unless it doesn't involve me, then I don't feel the need to interject. But for the most part, like, yeah, just, hey, did you say this? Hey, did this happen? Like, for example, recently, somebody told me that somebody else said something. And instead of going around and telling everybody that that person said that thing, I went directly to that person and said, did you say this? And guess what? We talked about it. That was the end of it. Where it could have gotten so much worse if I had just been going around being like,
but
can you believe it? Can you believe it?
Another thing that like I don't like though too is like when somebody says, well, I heard this about you, but then they don't tell you where their source is from either. That part really bugs me too. Like I understand that you're trying to protect that person, but if they were ballsy enough to say something, but not to the actual person's face, just say it. And then, then if you're a upfront person, you can go to that direct person, say, hey. And that first they might be like, whoa, but then afterwards they'll think twice about opening their mouth again. It's happened to me when I was younger, talking shit about people. I mean, and nobody is innocent in that department. You can grow and do better. But, back in the day, I was a little firecracker, to say the least. And, I remember very vividly, I flapped my fucking gums about somebody, and that person came and said, you know what, you don't know the whole story, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, shit, you know what? No, I don't know the whole story, right. So I'm going to think twice about doing something like that again.
Yeah. And that's how those situations should play out. But then you introduce things like social media. And then you have all these people in the world. And I'm talking everybody, including me. All these people in the world have all these things that we are having problems with in our lives, or these things that we do online. And then somebody posts a meme. And the person posting that meme knows exactly why they're posting it. Mm-hmm. But everybody and their dog can see that and think that they're the ones being attacked. And that is where, like, a dangerous society kind of lies. Like, that's, like, I don't know. Like, I post memes because I'm like, yes, it's true about so many things. Mm-hmm. And once in a while, yeah, I'll post one that's only meant for one person. A lot of times I'll tag the person, but if I'm being salty, and I try not to do that anymore. I try to just put the salt on the wound, not just throw it in the air. But yeah, like, this whole, again, passive aggressiveness is so gross, man. Be aggressive. Like,
yeah, like the meme sharing, like, that's gotta be, like, the funniest.
One day, a girl literally messaged me and said, oh my God, I just have to ask, is this about me? And I said, oh my gosh, no. Why would you think that? And then she gave me this whole story, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know any of that about you. It was so cute. And then, yeah, we just kind of became friends out of that. And so I would say to anyone, if you think somebody's trying to shade you, fucking step up. Step up and say, is this about me? Mm-hmm. Is this real about me? Is this story post about me? What's the worst that can happen? Because
it's
if it
probably just going to nip it in the bud right
exactly.
there.
Because if it is about you, then great, you guys can hash it out. But if it isn't about you...
Then if it isn't about you, then you realize it's not about you, and then you're not going to be worrying yourself and stressing yourself and giving yourself anxiety thinking it is about you.
Because how many people will be like...
sit in silence, be like, oh my God, that person doesn't like me anymore. Yeah. And oh my God.
And then they're going to go around and, yeah, this person posted this meme about me 3 years ago, and I'm pretty sure it was about me, but I don't actually know. Yeah. Like, what?
Assuming makes an ass out of me and you.
Exactly.
Or you and me. Sorry, I did that backwards. Assuming makes an ass out of you and me. So... stop just assuming, stop being asses, and just be point blank about it.
Be upfront. Be real, man. Mm-hmm. Because guess what? Real is rewarded. And I noticed that because you would think that if I was such a bad person that people say I am, that, I would be this, like, person that doesn't have any friends, that doesn't have anything going on, that can't, whatever. But no, people like me because I'm upfront and I'm honest and I'm open, and people don't have to guess with me. If I like you, I like you. Like... Anyway.
Yeah, and I know I've, like, bit my tongue, too, and, like, that's another thing. You hear somebody saying something about you, and then you want to confront them, but then the other person doesn't want you to because it'll make them feel uncomfortable. Well, it made me feel uncomfortable hearing this shit being spoken about me. Mm-hmm. So why wouldn't I just confront it? And, like, there's been too many times where I haven't. And,
it always grows into something it doesn't need to grow into.
Yeah, like, if my feathers feel ruffled, why am I worried about keeping everybody else's ruffles or feathers tamed down?
Yeah, exactly. Fuck them.
Like, if it directly... and, there's always, like, that saying that somebody else's opinion of me is none of my business. That's true. But if that said person is going to spew out their opinion about me to other people, then it is my business. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of, like, and if you just, again, confrontation, said, hey, I don't appreciate this, they're probably going to feel extremely, outed and dumb and awkward and like, shit.
Honestly, in this day and age, somebody probably just block you if you confronted them.
Wow.
Because that's what
or
people
they
do.
would flip it into like, well, I'm a victim. This person confronted me and said that they didn't appreciate it because I was saying like mean things about them. Like, who are they to like? My opinion of them is none of their business.
Exactly.
Like
these
let's
people...
stop hiding behind these bullshit memes and just say what you mean to the person.
I know. Exactly.
Like. Even like with like it's happened with my boyfriend. You know, I dated a guy. We were two different people, and he was in a different place in his life. I was in a different place in my life, and I said like, "Hey, this isn't working out." And then you know, I got accused of all this like stupid shit, like even breaking a window, if you'd believe that. Like, I'm not 16. Like, I'm not, like...
Like, how big of an ego...
And I broke up with you, so why would I come smash in your window now?
Yeah, like, where is... You need to check your ego if you're out thinking that people are that...
Yeah.
Like,
so then, like... So that person, obviously, you know, when things don't work out, and if you wanted it to work out, but the other person wasn't feeling the same way, yeah, there's obviously going to be some hard feelings. But you have to have the emotional and mental maturity to be like, okay... Well, you know, I'm glad that they ended it now, then drag this on months and months and make it way worse than it was. Like, why can't people just be like, hey, we're obviously two different people. Let's just call it what it is and go our separate ways. So that person went around and spewed a bunch of shit about me and said how awful of a person I am. And the guy that I'm dating now, a girl went to him and was like, well, you're dating this person, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, well, who was it? And I'm going to have words with this person. And he right away was like, oh, no. Like, I have to deal with this person still. Like, I don't want you saying anything to this person. In hindsight, like, I will never, ever, ever, ever water myself down again in those types of situations. Like, I don't care if it makes you uncomfortable. If you didn't want to be involved in it, you shouldn't have said anything to me about it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, if you know,
and if you didn't believe it, if you're like, no, I know her, I know she's not like that, so I know what you're saying is bullshit. You should have just left it there and said that to her and then let it be. Because if you tell me, like, now I'm like, she doesn't know me, she's never met me. Like, and that's the thing, like, if you've never met that person, like, and I'm not, like, it's not exactly like I'm a super social person. I don't spew all my shit on social media, so it's like, where are you getting this from? Like, you don't know me from a hole in the ground.
I know, like, the things I've heard about you know what I mean, from other people, you know what I mean, like, not actually, but yeah.
Oh, like, no, I know people have said shit about me because you know, I'm to the point. Yeah. And people don't like that. Yeah. And people don't like being rejected.
It's super. I actually just saw a really great photo the other day. Speaking of memes, but it said, like, it's so much easier to hate you because I forget what it said, but it's so much easier to hate you than try to compete with you or something like that. Like, because so people, and that's another thing, like, people think everything's a fucking competition and it's like popularity contest. No. Okay, just be who you are and people will come to you, right?
Well, and here's another thing too, like, another meme that gets me is, you will never be criticized by somebody who is doing more than you. Yeah, you fucking will.
Yeah, you will.
Like, that is, like, and that's the thing, like, we find so much comfort in these things being like, well, their opinion of me, or, like, this is nothing because they're obviously doing less than me, because why would they be, no, like, and it depends, like, where it's coming from, but if it's, like a hard critique, like a very black and white situation, and it's like, this person's, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. Like, I am hustling, but, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I know.
And, like, and that's the thing, like, a lot of these people, I feel like, are the type of people that aren't doing anything with their lives, so then they find comfort in
They're the people that actually think they're better than other people, and those are the worst type of people. So these people who think they're better than everyone say, oh, if they're hating me, it's because they're shittier than me. No, go fuck yourself. You're shitty too. We're all shitty.
We all have toxic behaviors. We all have negative sides to us, and I think that's, like, the biggest thing is, like, people need to realize that everybody's perfect.
Like, I'll have a conversation.
But if you can recognize it and have the humility in that, That's growth. That's
Yeah.
that's a good person.
I'll have a conversation with anyone. It doesn't have to be someone with 20,000 followers, like some of these other people that are just so wrapped up in their ego. It's just ego.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Yeah, like if they don't have anything to gain from you, then it's like, you're not worth my time.
Bah.
Like, how awful is that? That's like literally the world that we're in now.
Yeah. And with that, fuck that. Bye.
Yeah. Fuck the haters.